All right, Kylie. Let's show you what's going on with your boy Bo. First off, bit of disappointing news um, this week. Bo had a little bit of a disaster with his collar. He's been playing with the other dogs, and this is all that remains of his collar. I did manage to salvage the tags, so we have those. But his canvas collar is in about 1,000 pieces. The dogs got it off of him and shredded it. They were playing, and a lot of times those canvas collars, that's kind of what happens to them. But anyway, they had a good time with it, I guess. But anyway, the good news is Bo is doing great working with being a dog with everybody else. He's very social, very easy to get along with, doing great. Real happy with him. He's also very clean. He's very quiet. I'm really happy with this dog. I think he's doing great. So last time when we talked, I showed you the start to our obedience training. Today I wanted to show you kind of the next couple pieces we're working on. So first off, I've got a duck in here, a frozen blue-winged teal. And when we start our sessions in here, we're going to start by having some fun, doing some retrieving. Just get to go pick up the duck, go chase the duck, just play and fetch. Good boy, Bo. Hey, hey, here, right here, Bo. Good. Give. Good boy. Good. All right. One more. Huh? One more. Right here. Hey. 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 Right here. Come on. Hey. Good boy. Give. So, just trying to have a little fun. Um, Part of what we're doing with that is we're trying to help him um, get in the mood and keep him happy because what we're about to do is about to start applying quite a bit of pressure to Bo. And the other thing we're doing is we're trying to help give him reps with actual ducks to try to help him get more accustomed to the smell, the feel, the taste of ducks so that it's not foreign. So we want to give him as many reps with real ducks as possible so that it's not a big deal once we move down the road. And I love using the blue wing teal, a frozen teal, because it's hard. There's no squishy, you can't chomp on it and, get anything squishy out of it. And it's a nice small size, real easy to carry. It's really not any bigger than a bumper. It's also not much heavier than a bumper. So I think basically every single blue wing teal I shoot every year, I keep because we use them for training constantly. With young dogs, using those teal are a great thing. Um, Speaking of training birds, I actually had somebody bring me a bunch of snow geese the other day. So we've got snow geese now, so that was good. I know you and I talked about that. But if you come across somebody who's got a bunch of them, especially juvies, juvenile snowy or snow geese are like, I'll take 100 of them if I can get my hands on them. We use those all the time. But anyway, let's show you what we're doing next with Bo. Hey, hey, right here. Good. So I'm trying to let him, he's not been really under control since we've been here in the shop in this session. So now we're going to start to help him understand. All right, hey, it's time to focus. Sit. Good. Good boy. All right. And what we want to do is we're trying to help him understand that there is a time for play and unstructured do what you will. And there's a time you need to focus on me and it's time to work. Okay. And so last time we talked about our obedience commands, sit here, heel. Easy peasy. He's got that down. Obviously, you've done quite a bit with him. So now what we're going to do is we're trying to transition from sit here, heel, sit into how we do force fetch and really polish this delivery to hand. Now, the way that I teach this is I teach this all seamless. I try to do it so that we're not trying to introduce anything totally different. So what we're doing is here at the sit position, and I'm intentionally making him sit here while I'm talking. You saw me correcting with the leash because I want him to learn you need to sit still as long as I tell you to. That's part of doing our commands. Sit. And I'm going to get progressively more like jerky with the leash to remind him he needs to say sitting down. So I'm trying to help him understand I'm going to apply pressure and he needs to respond appropriately. So first thing we got to do when we teach a dog force fetch is we got to teach them to hold, which it sounded like you started on this. Judging from what I've seen with him, he remembered it. So the way that I do this is the next command, command number 4, is the command to release something out of your mouth. And so obviously, in order to release something out of his mouth, he's got to have something in his mouth. So what he's going to hold in his mouth the first time is my bare hand. So what I do is while we are doing, nope, you got to sit. So while we are sitting down here, and I want to keep him square, I don't want him getting out of position. So we're practicing that. Is I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to stick my hand in his mouth, basically holding his lower jaw without any pressure. No squeeze, no pinch, none of that. Just hold my hand. And as soon as he quits wiggling, give. We use the command to release. No, I did not say just get up. Sit. Good. Good. Sit. Good. Good boy. So as soon as he stops wiggling, we use the command to release. Now, step 1, hold my hand. Step 2, carry my hand from one point to another. Heel, sit. Good. So I'm going to put my hand in his mouth. Heel. Sit. Give. Good boy. Good. Right here. Heel. Sit. Heel. Sit. Give. Good boy. And I know you said you were a little bit worried about the fact you didn't put him on a leash when he was a puppy. And I've been doing everything on a leash. Not a big deal. We simply are using the leash to help him understand that he's got to do the command when I say it. And I don't know if I ever made that clear in a text. The reason we use the leash is because it keeps constant control, sit, so that he has to respond the first time we say a command. It's imperative that we teach him to respond when I say it the first time. I don't repeat commands. We don't want him to get under the habit of saying, well, he responds on the second time, the third time, or the fourth time. We only say the commands once, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. Okay, so Bo's been doing fine carrying my hand. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch to the force fetch stick. This is my force fetch stick. It is a plastic, hard plastic center, and then these are actually soft foam on the outside. And so what we're going to teach the dog to do is to hold here in the middle. Don't hold here, don't hold here. I want them to hold in the center. We certainly don't want them to cigar it. We want them to hold in the middle. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back and do exactly what we were doing with my hand. Now, Bo's actually pretty cranked up about this. He likes the stick, which is good. But this is the only time they will ever see this stick because there sometimes can be a little resentment to this process. And if they're going to resent anything, we want it to be this stick that they're never going to see again. So what I mean is I'm going to come right down here. Nope. Heel. Sit. Don't move on me. Good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come right in front of him, and he smells. He's wanting to grab the end. We're not going to let him do that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I want him to hold the middle of the stick. And the thing is, making the dog hold it a certain way, I generally don't like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in his mouth, just as if it were my hand. Good boy. Good. Good. I'm using some reassuring tones and giving him just a gentle pat, just touching the bottom of his jaw. Good. With my right hand. And then my right hand, I want to come underneath him. I want it to come underneath him because I want him to know that just because my right hand is coming in doesn't mean I'm coming for the stick. Good boy. Good. Give. Good dog. And so then we give him the command. Nope, I want you to sit. We give him the command to release it. So that was good. He was holding nicely. Oh, good. You grabbed it. Good boy. That'll help later. And he gave me a little tail wag there. That's good boy. Good. Good boy. Good. I'm going to touch the stick. I can even wiggle it before I say the word. Good. Give. Good dog. And I'm also saying it with kind of a certain tone, kind of a higher pitch, because I want it to be a very unique sound. I want him to know that means let go of it. because I don't want him to let go any other time unless that command is being used. Okay, so obviously, sit. If we're going to hold it, we probably need to carry it. Good boy. Heel. Sit. Good boy. Look at you. Good. I'm not not restricting him anyway. He's holding nicely. Very, very good. Give. Good boy. That's a dog who understands the command to hold. Okay, so all in all, we're off doing great on the hold command. Up next, we will talk about how we actually put the force in force fetch so that he understands the next part about how to actually grab the thing. And once he's done his drills, we let him have some fun retrieves. Good boy. Good. Hey, right here. Give. And I'll actually use the give command. Hey, hey, right here. Hey, hey. Give. So long as he brings it to me without dropping, I will say the word, helping reinforce. Even in play, we're still reinforcing those terms. So, all in all, Bo's doing great.